Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and I'm joined this week on the phone by Tommy.
I'm Tommy. Hashtag not Mike.
Mike is not able to join us today, but he'd probably say, "Dear God, why is it still 2020?" Because
I was about to say it. I was like, hashtag not Mike, and oh my God, this is somehow still 2020.
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's been 2020 for like 8 years now?
It feels like it, especially with the way March went through it. Normally I'm okay because my birthday's in March, but at least I got a party before it went crazy. But, you know, still, Mike and Tina won't be joining us tonight. A lot of busy work with school. It's new 6 weeks for them, and trying to get this stuff going to the end of the year. They had a lot to do, so they just want to take a little break from it. And then again, I know we mentioned last week we were going to try and talk about Dark Side of the Ring Brawl for All, but there was a lot that happened last week in the world of wrestling that we're probably going to need an episode to talk about, and that's what we're going to get to today.
It was almost like as soon as we ended episode last week,
you know,
everything happened like the minute the show stopped. It's like when we got off the phone, we stopped recording, and literally the wrestling world said, okay, let's make everything, and I mean everything, happen right now.
Yeah, it's just our luck, too, because it's always like that for us, it seems. So we're recording this on a Monday. Raw is going on right now. I'm sure there's something that might happen, but still, we're just going to go ahead and throw the recording out anyway. You can chat along with us, our Twitter account, at @CCG_WrestleCast. And thank you, everyone. We had some recent new subscribers to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Thank you very much for subscribing. We hope you enjoy the show, even though this is going to be kind of crazy to talk about. I'm basically dubbing this WWE Release Week 2020, Part 1, because we don't know if there's going to be another Part 2.
For real.
So
it's so crazy. It's like really that many people have to go. It's like really now.
You know,
but no, you guys got to go right now. It's got to be now.
The weirdest part about all this is the timing of it, because there was a lot revealed. The XFL officially filed for bankruptcy, and while everyone thought they were technically two separate entities, come to find out, WWE did have an ownership stake in the XFL. That didn't work out. Of course, we talked the last week or two about WWE being called an essential business, and with campaign contributions to the Trump campaign, which doesn't surprise me. The McMahons are Republicans, so what? But I don't know. Some rumors that McMahon sold a bunch of stock before all these release news came out, and then lo and behold, the bomb drops, and a lot of people lost their jobs last week, which sucks. Now granted, the way WWE does business, a lot of these guys are going to be on no-compete clauses for 90 days and then can go elsewhere, unless they negotiated something else out of it, because who knows? I mean, not that there's a lot of wrestling going on right now, but things are starting to pick back up, and hopefully a lot of this talent will be going just in time for some major things and some other pay-per-views. Other shows, other promotions.
I will say some of the names who got released didn't surprise me, because there's just people who I think wanted out anyway.
Yeah.
But there were a few that I just did not see coming.
That's true. There's a lot in here. A lot of emotional messages put on social media as well about it as well.
Yeah, okay. I was going to mention that, but when we get to that, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
So what Tommy and I are going to do is we're going to kind of talk through a lot of the big releases. There was a lot of NXT talent that was let go as well, some notable ones that we'll mention. But it was a lot of on-screen talent, backstage producers, writers, and performance center coaches. We'll try and go through them and just talk about where for them, maybe they're better off. What opportunities are there out there? Where they go next? And some of these might be easy calls. Some of these are going to be tough to talk about. So now, before all of this started, there was one release that happened a week prior that we didn't mention because we were happy for it, and we had so much else to talk about last week. And that was, of course, the Revival.
Yeah, that one was so obvious. It was like, the Revival got released. Thank God.
Thank you. Yeah, I think they've been wanting that for a while. everyone thinks they're pretty much set for AEW. I don't see anywhere else place they can go, especially with some of the stuff they built with Cody online.
I fully believe they can go to AEW, but they could go just about anywhere. I think also TNA Impact Tag Division would be good for them too.
Yeah, I feel like though with some of the history they have online with Cody, there's going to be a lot of AEW pull they have in there, and they'll build something up there.
Oh yeah,
that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, as far as the releases that happened last week, the first one was just almost completely off guard. Was Drake Maverick?
Yeah, that was, man.
His
video was probably the hardest to watch.
The video was tough. It was emotional. Interestingly enough, he made mention of the fact that he's still going to be a part of the interim cruiserweight NXT cruiserweight title tournament. Which, if you're not familiar, Jordan Devlin, the current champion, with all that's going on, is not able to work out travel issues to come over and defend the cruiserweight title. And rather than strip him of the title, they're doing the smart thing, I think, in that they're creating an interim title. They're going to have a tournament, or they can have a championship that's defended on TV. And when all this blows over, you can have Devlin versus the interim champion to unify the belts. It's something that UFC does all the time. In the meantime, Devlin could even still wrestle NXT UK and defend the title over there, so you kind of have a back and forth there as well.
Yeah.
But Drake Maverick mentioned he's going to be a part of that tournament regardless. And I'm wondering if there's a lot of talent on here that's also going to be a part of that tournament before they're fully let go. Which tells me that this tournament might have already been taped, which seems pretty obvious. A lot of things are being taped on WWE right now.
Either already taped or they're just booked through that tournament, and then that's it. Like, it's like the last dates on their contract,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But, yeah, probably already taped.
Now, Maverick, coming from the Rockstar Spud gimmick with Impact, do you think that's a place he'll go back to, or do you think he's going to go somewhere else?
I don't know, because I think he's established himself now as much of a comedy character as he can be, and he has in both places. Impact would be logical, but I think he could go pretty much anywhere. I think he's got enough clout now where like everyone kind of knows him. It's like he can go back to Impact. He could be like a sniveling character in AEW because he's just that kind of endearing. He really is. I mean, clearly he got Renee Michelle, so
it's just she's involved in TV segments as well wherever he goes too.
Yeah. Dude, the guy married Renee Michelle. Apparently, he's doing something right with his life.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine. His video was hard to watch, but when I thought about it, I was like, that dude got Renee Michelle. That guy, there's something good about this dude. He's going to be okay. I believe in Drake Maverick.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think we can all agree with that. But just with all that's going on, it's hard for people to get back on their feet. Kurt Hawkins, let go. Him and Zack Ryder really have been tied together for so long, both of them being let go.
Zack Ryder is the one that kind of hurts me, only because I don't think he ever truly got a fair shake. But I hope he goes somewhere now where he can get a fair shake. But see, the thing is, to me, is like Zack Ryder is kind of like Cesaro in the way that everyone else likes him, but the company wouldn't pull the trigger. So it's like everyone else likes him. What was the problem?
I don't know. And the fact that he made a name for himself doing his own sort of like YouTube channel, showing he has charisma. The company didn't seem to like that for some reason. I don't know, but it was.
But didn't like Cody put him over like immediately after he was released? Say like this guy, like a lot of people were saying, if it hadn't been for Zack Ryder, things like being the elite never would have took off because Zack Ryder did that kind of thing first.
Exactly.
And they're right. I mean, if it had not been for Zack Ryder doing the Long Island IZ, his and everything, you wouldn't have being the elite. So if there's anyone who should leave from this, well, among other guys, who should leave and go do something fantastic somewhere else, it's Zack Ryder. Because, honestly, you almost wouldn't have All Elite Wrestling if it hadn't been for Zack doing that kind of thing first.
Maybe that's a way to kind of say that Zack is headed that way as well. Some of these guys already have T-shirts, which are pretty funny.
He could go in as a heel character saying that you guys stole all this from me, and you guys got money off of it, and I got screwed. He could completely go do a 180 on us.
Mm-hmm. Next one, Heath Slater.
No!
Yeah, I know. There's bad and good on this. I know. There's bad and good on this. So the bad, obviously, is he's been there so long. I think he said almost 13 years, 16 years. I forget what he said it was.
He's got kids!
Yeah. He's got kids, Which, by the way, his new shirt out just says "I got fired," and much the same logo as the "I Got Kids" T-shirt that he had.
Oh my God! If I had the money, I'd have bought his shirt immediately. It's like I got fired. I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
Here's why this is a
I
good
was
thing,
so
though.
hurt when I saw his name. I was like, no, not he, no.
Here's why this is a good thing, though, and I'm gonna throw this out there. The formula for winning a WWE Championship is very simple: be a part of 3MB, get fired, get bulked up, make yourself a star, come back, win championship. Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre have got that down. Heath, the ball's in your court. We'll see you at Impact. We'll see you at AEW, Ring of Honor, wherever. Get huge, get your charisma, come back, win a championship. We'll see you at WrestleMania in a few years.
I do agree, and the main reason I do is because somebody else said that too, and they put a Photoshop picture of Heath's head on like The Rock's body and said Heath Slater in 5 years.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and when he does win it, all of his kids and his family are gonna be showing up in the middle of the ring at the middle of WrestleMania, confetti flying down when he does win the title.
They should totally do that.
Calling
and
it right
even bring
now.
in fake cousins, like just people who are nowhere near related to him, and just have them get in the ring and say that they're. They should all say. They all say like we're like all he said we're Heath's kids. Heath's wife say I'm Heath's wife, and everyone else say we're Heath's cousins.
Yeah,
it's just all of them get in the ring, and then sell the we're Heath's cousins T-shirts because I would buy that immediately.
Oh man, I can't wait. I mean, I remember back to when Mahal and McIntyre were let go, and the memes were out there the day the music died because it was 3-man band. Yeah. It was just Heath.
Yeah,
left.
I remember that.
For those guys to come back. After Drew McIntyre won the title, I think he was having he was having like a FaceTime call with Drew on a radio show, and was telling Drew how proud he was of him, and Drew got emotional too with that. So, Heath is on his way there. I think he's finally taking the next step towards the WWE Championship, and funny enough, he just has to get released by the company to get there. So,
personally, though, I think Heath should also go to Impact Wrestling and win the Impact World Title like Drew did, and then come back and then win the championship.
I think that's a good fit for him.
Who I solely want to go to Impact is Heath. That's who I think should go to Impact is Heath Slater.
Yeah, not as crazy a travel schedule, a small company, but enough TV exposure they can do something well with that.
Yeah.
Now, one I'm sure Tommy's happy for: Gallows and Anderson.
Oh, thank God! Oh.
Tama Tonga was pretty happy about it on Twitter after this was announced too. So yeah. Tama Tonga was very quick to put up a tweet. I forget the exact wording, but it was saying, "Looks like he's got some people are coming home," basically. And
my running joke with my entire family when I told them about all this, especially when I saw, I think Anderson posted a video like where he lives now, and then like zooming over to Japan to Tokyo. Yeah. I said, I bet the second that news broke, President Mage and the rest of the New Japan front office were on the phone with him. Carl, where's Luke? You guys okay? You need plane tickets? I mean, you guys okay? I mean,
and I don't mind it. I don't mind them going back to Japan. They were so successful there. I kind of wanted to see them in AEW though, in that tag team division, which I feel like they could have flourished well.
That would have been cool.
Yeah,
but the thing is though, I think if anyone was going to get first dibs at calling them, New Japan kind of had the right to.
They who knows? Maybe Anderson and Gallows gave him the inside scoop before the news was released too, and then just go from there.
Probably,
right? Yeah.
But you know something. I bet it probably was a bit harder in some ways because I'm sure the Young Bucks were going to call him too.
Yeah.
Because like that, those are their boys. So
maybe
I'm sure everyone wanted to call them the second they got released.
Maybe there'll be some sort of talent share thing. They're kind of doing it with Moxley, where New Japan and AEW are sharing talent. I don't know if Lance Archer's still having those benefits as well. Maybe
they haven't said yet, and I think this whole thing kind of threw off any of those talks right now. But they probably will when this is over. I think a lot of people are going to be willing to do business once this is over.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a changed world, so
Yeah. I think a lot of folks who are firmly before like, no, we're never working with them. We're like, you know what? At this point, we don't. Yeah, you know what? Let's exchange some talent. Let's do this thing.
Now, one of the ones I was actually probably happier about for him was Rusev.
Yeah, I think Rusev just they weren't doing anything with him anyway.
No, they weren't, and I have a feeling just the way. I don't know necessarily the way he's talked, but the way Lana has talked in social media and other interviews, they were trying to get a way out. They wanted to go somewhere where he had some talent. I don't know I can't remember if there's rumors if he asked for his release or not. The interesting part is that while he was released, his real life wife, Lana, has not been released. Now, part of that for me thinks that they're trying to finish up this whole storyline where she divorces Lashley, and then they're going to release Lana as well. I don't see any reason.
Possible.
Yeah, that's my guess on it. The only reason why Lana is still employed is that they're waiting for this whole storyline to finish up, because it seems they're pretty pushing that already for Lana and Lashley to be broken up on screen.
Yeah.
But Rusev, as I've understood it, it's not necessarily a release. I've heard that his contract at this point may have just expired and they haven't re-signed him. Either way, which is a good thing.
I heard that because I'd also heard that he wasn't, because he hadn't gotten an offer that he wanted to accept yet.
Yeah. And they were still negotiating prior, and they said, nah, screw it. Just let it go. So he may not have a full 90-day compete clause to deal with. It'll be very interesting to see if he shows up on AEW in the not-too-distant future. Because I think they're going to make good use of him. So,
well, he's one of those guys where I think it's like because everyone's making a joke like, oh, whoever goes over there is going to get a title shot immediately, and I don't think that's how AEW really does business. So I think he's just want to be one of the guys who starts, kind of doing what he did when he first started in WWE. Be the whole big bruiser dude.
Yeah. So what happens there?
We'll see.
No Way Jose. Next one out, another emotional message. Gonna miss the Congo line, What can you do? It was always fun and everything like that, having him there. This one surprised me a bit. Sarah Logan, especially because we just saw her having a shot at the title at WrestleMania. Wow.
That would really hurt me because,
thankfully, their husband still has a job. We worry about that as well. But thankfully, he's still employed. So I feel like a lot of these talents, though, might be released for now, but they're going to be on the short list to come back once all this blows over. WWE's kind of cash grabbing here. Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, okay, so some of them probably coming back, but well, you know what? I'll save that for when we're done. I'll save that when we get to the end.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Now, the first two candidates I think that are definitely a shoe-in to go back to ROH, Mike and Maria Kanellis.
Dude, I think didn't Matt Taven send something on Instagram for them like the next day?
Yeah.
Kingdom
coming back together, right?
I think he tagged them the next day on Instagram, like with their original tights when they were in New Japan, and I think he said, I think we can get these in purple or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh man, Taven, dude, you crafty bastard. Anyway, but mostly that's the thing with Mike and Maria. They've already been everywhere, so letting them go doesn't really hurt them that much. It just gives them options to go back. They literally have been in all the major companies already, except AEW. It's like the one place they haven't been yet. The only reason they weren't there is because AEW hadn't started by the time they got signed back.
So you think there's a chance they go there now, or you think they're just going back to join the Kingdom?
You know what? Part of me thinks that they'll go back and join the Kingdom because at the current moment, Taven needs the backup. So, and they would go support him. But that's just, on the same token, if they got signed by AEW, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised by that either.
All right,
Mike Bennett, when he's booked right, and and to be fair, when he's clean, because there were some moments there, he's a really good worker, and he even talks about that. Now he's clean, got everything together and everything like that. I think he'd be a huge asset to any company. So.
Definitely.
I think Maria's a lot business smarter than people are giving her credit for. So I think, wherever they go, she'll be able to help them thrive. So
it'll be interesting to see for them how they navigate all this with two kids as well. They've been in the limelight for it was like them, Brie Bella, Dan O'Brien, and of course Mike and The Miz and Maurice having kids while being a part of WWE. Those were kind of a big thing, So how they navigate that, it's going to be a challenge, but I think they'll do well with that. Aiden English also let go. That's an interesting one. I don't see him being away for very long. Me
neither.
So that won't be too bad. EC3, I think a lot of people are happy that they're letting EC3 go because WWE a lot would argue that they completely misused him.
Something.
Yeah. I think he was pulled from NXT way too early.
I agree.
Yeah, Vince just saw a big body and didn't really get him a chance to develop to the WWE style. He needed a little more time to get used to that NXT, and then they pull him on TV, and then what? Lo and behold.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I think him and Drake could be going back to Impact and kind of taking that back over. That's just my thought.
That would be cool. I could see that, and that would be awesome. I'd enjoy that.
Yeah, especially if we see EC3 going back and immediately want to challenge Tessa Blanchard for the title. That'd be a hell of a match.
I could totally see that. Yep. I could absolutely see that without question.
Leo Rush.
He's a great heel.
Yeah, he is a great heel. Leo Rush is next.
That kind of doesn't shock me.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hadn't been fired already. Just for some of the shit he had said in interviews and on social media. But that, of course, was at an age when I felt like people were trying to get fired because there was another place to go, So
yeah.
But he's out. I think he's still going to be part of the interim cruiserweight championship tournament. So he'll be involved with that.
Yeah, but him being released, I was like, that's sad that he lost his job. But at the same time, didn't we all kind of see that one coming?
Yeah, that's not surprising, honestly. Eric Young probably going to be going back to Impact after this. The Sanity thing was great in NXT, was working well with it, and it was another one of those things where he gets on the main roster and different people are in charge. Vince doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, he's got too much talent. Obviously, we're happy they're letting him go because he's got a lot of talent. I think we talked about this a few months ago. There was like over 300 plus people on this roster. So, and honestly,
that's what's really sad. He released all these people, and there's still like a ton more, and you still see the exact same faces on TV every week.
Exactly. Like, where's everyone else doing?
They can't even do like a rotate them out. Kind of like, okay, I know I'm doing the whole AEW thing, singing their praises, but come on, AEW doesn't even have half their roster, and you still, and you don't even, and maybe this is just me, but I'm positive, even by AEW standards, I have not seen the Young Bucks nowhere near as much as I thought I would in this show. Nowhere near as much. It's like you have a show with the Young Bucks, Cody, and Kenny. Now Kenny being on TV a lot makes a lot of sense to me because he's the AAA champion, and he's still considered one of the best wrestlers in the world. Even though, and I think this is by design, he hasn't been having the greatest matches of his career. I think they did that on purpose. Yeah. But come on, by comparison, you have not seen the Elite nowhere near on camera as much as the rest of the group they've been bringing in.
Because they've been smart about the way they booked that show, and I feel like every time you watch it, you're seeing a new talent every week on AEW as well. So
to me, who you see the most, and I think as it should be, is Jon Moxley for one, and the Inner Circle. Mm-hmm. And to me, that makes sense because Jon Moxley is like the hottest thing in wrestling right now. And the Inner Circle are just the guys you want to hate. So why else would you put them on TV except that's like the kind of brilliant old school booking. You're watching the TV to hopefully watch someone kick their ass.
Yeah.
That's like that's where you can see that's where you can see Dusty Rhodes and Cody, because you can see that kind of evil booking. It's like oh my god, because someone shut him up already. And that being said, Tony Schiavone and Chris Jericho commentary might be the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Jericho is just great at whatever he does when it involves wrestling. So he's very comfortable behind a mic. Obviously, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but him talking up Sammy Guevara this past Dynamite, oh my god, was so stupid. It was funny.
Gotta love it, man. Now, two people that Tina was surprised were still employed, Primo and Epico Cologne. The Colognes are now officially fired.
Okay. Now, okay, I was going to say this. This is going to sound mean, but I was like, guys, you hung in there as long as you could. You did your best. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You hung in there. You guys could make it somewhere else. But dang it if you didn't get your paycheck, bro.
Yeah, just fly under the radar like Crime Time did for so many years, not being on TV, but still somehow on the payroll and still racking up the money. And then that's kind of how it was with Primo and Epico. And it sucks because they're talented, but now they're going to go back to Puerto Rico and maybe hopefully do something big there once the list blows over, because I think that scene needs to be built back up in Puerto Rico. And
Puerto Rico has a pretty solid wrestling scene when they are allowed to let it really go.
Yeah,
and I think maybe them being back there, they can help organize that more, get more eyes on it. Get it built back up, like I said.
And the final main roster release, Eric Rowan. Pretty sure, and I hate to say this because I always feel like they end up with Harper and Rowan together in WWE. I don't know what Rowan's indie name is going to be, one, and two, if he's going to be showing up at AEW to be part of the Dark Order. So with Brody Lee.
That's hard, yeah, that one's hard to call.
Yeah, I don't know what's next for Rowan. I feel he's kind of just stuck there. It felt like this whole gimmick where he was carrying around like a pet or something was just them fishing for something to do with him, you know. But
Yeah, that was someone in creative who literally had no other better idea than that.
yeah, let's just do this and see what runs with it. But it never really got over. So, but
Yeah.
where Rowan ends up, we'll see. It's really hard to pick a place for him because they really didn't give him an opportunity to show a whole lot of what he's capable of. So now he has that opportunity with some name recognition as well. Now,
I think it would be better for him to go to Impact and kind of get in a stable with someone there. That way he get to shine a little bit,
or start his own, something like that too. Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah.
There was loads of also NXT and NXT UK releases. The most notable ones probably are Deonna Purrazzo from NXT and Cassius Ohno, officially NXT UK, aka Chris Hero, which he posted a pretty cryptic tweet of just the ring and the boots in the ring, symbolic of somebody retiring. But here's the kicker: the boots had the name Cassius on it.
I'm not gonna believe it. Nope, I'm not gonna believe it. He's just retiring the name and the gimmick. That's all.
That's my guess. I think the Cassius Ohno gimmick is done, and I think Chris Hero is full on back. And I think if Chris Hero does ever go back to WWE, I really hope it's as Chris Hero at this point. The Cassius Ohno thing just doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it's not working out for him there. I don't fully get it. You know, the Chris Hero thing is just so much better, and I feel like he needs to stick with that wherever he goes. So maybe we'll see Chris Hero Ring of Honor, maybe AEW, maybe New Japan. Who knows? He can go anywhere at this point, and a lot more recognition.
I want him to go back to ROH to finally win the Ring of Honor World Title. Jeez.
There you go.
That's easy.
Him versus the Rush would be insane. That'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Another kind of main roster release, the referee Mike Chioda was also let go. Longtime referee.
That would really hurt.
Yeah, that's very surprising to see that.
That would hurt me on a personal level because he's like one of my favorite refs ever. I'm hoping he's one of the cases of guys who just let go for now and they'll bring back later because that one just pained me when I read that. I was like, oh, not Mike. Come on, man.
You never know because there's a trend of all these referees, ring announcers, commentators, seeming if they were let go by WWE, make their way over to AEW and do so much better there. So we could see Chioda reffing in an AEW ring in the not too distant future, I think. So
yeah, I'm just saying he's just a really good ref. And
yeah,
he is. That one just really hurt.
Now it wasn't just on-screen talent that had to deal with the releases or got the wave of it. A lot of backstage producers as well. Some of the notable ones: Kurt Angle, Lance Storm, Mike Rotunda, a.k.a. IRS, Sarah Stock, Fit Finley, Hurricane Helms, Pat Buck, Sean Navari, and Scott Armstrong. A lot of veteran producers, a lot of like up-and-coming producers, or, for lack of a better word, rookie producers, kind of learning the system, kind of getting their own thing, have a lot of influence on the matches WWE puts together. And a lot of really big-name talent being let go from the backstage producer role.
Yep.
Yeah. So what this leaves them, I'm not really sure, and where they go from here. Again, this might be another issue of while they're technically on contracts, WB has furloughed some employees, but these guys, since they're independent contractors, they have to let them go officially. So 3 Performance Center coaches, the most notable, of course, Serena Deeb and Ace Steel were let go. Ken Okashi. Yeah. Serena, I love Serena Deeb. She's great. She's really nice.
Yeah.
And some of the other staff.
Storm gone and
I know, crazy, right? Some of the other staff.
I love Ace Steel because of Ring of Honor and Second City Saints, so that's why I love Ace Steel. So
might be interesting if he's back in the ring now after this. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it at this point. So.
Me neither.
And finally, some of the other staff: Andrea Listenberger, is a writer. Jerry Soto, Spanish language announcer, and Josiah Williams, current NXT ring announcer, and more famous for all the YouTube videos that he was making of him kind of remixing a lot of entrance themes for wrestlers in WWE and New Japan.
He's probably going to go back to that and get more followers now.
He probably will. The most notable appearance he had on WWE TV was where he rapped his version of Adam Cole's song, leading Adam Cole to the ring at NXT Takeover once, which was awesome.
That was really cool.
You know, this was like a dream come true kind of a thing for him, but unfortunately, he was still kind of new, kind of low on the totem pole, so he was very easy to cut at this point. So, but this was kind of a dream job for him, and I wouldn't doubt if he's back there once all this blows over. So,
yeah, I don't surprise me either.
That's pretty much all the releases we know of so far. Like I said, this is like part one of the release week 2020. We don't know if there's going to be more. Lana seems to be on the bubble for that once the storyline wraps up. And depending how much longer this lasts, WWE, even though they have loads of cash, loads of money that they can deal with or work with.
Okay.
And
that's what I was going to talk about.
And money to blow on people like Goldberg for Saudi Arabia and WrestleMania. If you hadn't spent that money, all these people would have their jobs.
Dude,
let's be honest here.
You took everything I was going to say, because I was literally going to say, okay, here's my problem with this. You could not have told me you blew all that money from the Saudi Arabia shows already. It's impossible. You didn't even have Mania this year.
Money coming from Fox is guaranteed as well. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You already don't have to worry about driving and trucks and production and all that because you're filming everything in one freaking location. You couldn't keep these people around for another month or two at minimum. Are you serious?
Yeah. I think the XFL
be run by an old black mother. It needs to. We need to you do this with this money. You guys are doing this with this money. I don't think you do. So I think you need to go ahead and shut up and not do that with that money. That's what you need to do. You actually need a black mother for that kind of stuff.
I think that more so is the fact that the XFL had to fold or at least go bankrupt the way it did. Hopefully that's not the end of it because the league was doing pretty well. And they had money invested in it. The WWE did when they, for all accounts, it wouldn't appear as if they did, but apparently they did. So that seemed to be an excuse for them to let all these people go. You know, but this kind of week hits every year.
Did XFL fold kind of quick too? I was like, that was kind of fast.
You know, and it's not right because they were doing great. It was a lot better than the first iteration. The league was running well, and through no fault of its own, they had to shut down because of the pandemic that's going around. So.
Yes. Okay. So I guess that's my thing. Is like the pandemic happened, so they couldn't run any kind of games. But were they that big a financial hole? They had to just shut it down right now.
Pretty much, since they were counting on money from they had to refund a lot of season ticket holder money.
Okay.
TV contract stuff they couldn't get anymore because the games aren't being played. They were kind of a startup league, so they didn't have a huge amount of money to fall back on like the NFL, the NBA, things like that. So,
I get you.
A lot of paying the players relied on money they're going to be bringing in this season. So now, while everyone's been released, this news broke like pretty much right after we stopped recording last Tuesday. And waking up Wednesday morning, I'm sitting there editing that last episode, and all this news is breaking. I'm like, why has this happened after we've recorded, right? But there's more news on it that's broken is that Money in the Bank, as was announced on SmackDown on Friday, those matches, the 2 Money in the Bank matches are taking place not at the Performance Center like we speculated, but at WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut.
Of all the stupid, idiotic, downright dumb.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
I can't fathom this. First of all, let me before I get to the stupidest thing, let me just start with this.
Okay.
First of all, what? What? Out of every possible iteration of this match that you could have done with this idea, running up a building, and all I can hear is running up that hill by Placebo. And it's like, what is this? Die Hard the match? Don't get me wrong, that'd be awesome, but is this Die Hard the match?
Here's my thing. Obviously, they're basically fighting through a corporate building, if you don't know by now. Starting on the first floor of WWE headquarters, the briefcase will be hanging on the roof of the building, and they will, as they've been saying it, have to climb, quote-unquote, the corporate ladder to get the Money in the Bank briefcase all the way up to the top floor and onto the roof, which you hope there's good weather that day.
Given the weather here in Texas, folks, that's not a guarantee.
Yeah. Honestly, when I first saw this, they first advertised it. I first saw the news about this. I was sitting there like, this is something WCW would have done, and kind of did with the whole.
This sounds like Vince Russo's brainchild.
Yeah, the whole triple cage thing that they introduced in the Ready to Rumble movie, and then implemented in further storylines. Notably, I remember a Nitro where they had that match, and Arquette was trying to defend his championship, and Kevin Nash just waited at the bottom, stole it, and walked out with the belt. So.
Keep in mind the fact that you have to use the words Arquette defends his championship.
Yeah, no. It feels like something WCW would have done, but Tina let me know she was reading a report that these matches apparently may have already been taped at the headquarters. The men's and the women's Money in the Bank matches at headquarters. So
okay, pre-taping the matches, I'm still not mad at because given the times we're in, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just the tape itself is so stupid.
Now, if these have been taped already, they're not going to reveal the spoilers, obviously. I think they pushed the news out because if they waited till the day of the show, you would have had fans trying to get a glimpse to see what was going on. So, obviously, This is like a pre-tape thing, a la the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match kind of thing.
But here's my thing with why this is so stupid. They just proved they can do a ladder match in that building.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania. You just proved it. And now you did this for what? You just got through showing you can have a ladder match and a good one in that building.
Because now it allows Vince to show off his headquarters. You know? That's really what it comes down to. I just hope somebody gets body slammed through Vince's desk. That's all I want out of one of these matches, so I hope that was...
I just hope Brock Lesnar isn't there.
Yeah, who knows? Watch, he shows up and he's got an office next to Vince's or something like that, just on standby.
I almost believe that's the case.
Well, it's either that or Vince has a Lesnar phone that he can call him whenever he wants, something like that.
like the Bat phone for Commissioner Gordon for Batman.
Yeah, so we'll see how this plays out. From what Tina had let me know too, because she was reading up on this. So the way the schedule's worked out right now is that they're basically filming Raw and SmackDown, 2 weeks worth of Raw and SmackDown within a day or two at the Performance Center, and then let everybody go home because obviously it would cost way too much. It would be too much of a hassle for everyone to fly in every week to do the shows live. So it sounds like they were at least taping 2 weeks worth of shows, and then they'll come back 2 weeks later and do that. So, but from what she understands, the matches at the headquarters have already been filmed, and they've already taken place. We're just kind of on a wait and see pattern right now to see how it all plays out. So,
well, tape delays used to be the norm in wrestling, so we're just back to that.
Yeah, how interesting is it now? WWE's always pushed for live TV, and this is what they've had to fall back on, and it still works. It's almost like they've become an indie promotion. Like those indie promotions that wrestle matches in front of other wrestlers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they've kind of turned into that, right? Now, with all this releases, with all this Money in the Bank news, it seemed like when anything could not get worse for wrestling fans, it happened too. We had 2 deaths in the wrestling family, at least that we're aware of last week. The most notable one, I think, obviously known worldwide, was the Howard Finkel. Passed away at age 69, young by relatively modern standards, but he's the one guy, at least for me, is a legendary ring announcer. People wanted to hear him say and knew and introduced them when they won at WrestleMania. And for him to make an appearance, even when he wasn't the full-time ring announcer, still coming back, still making appearances at WrestleMania year after year, you always looked for him to reappear. And then, of course, he was on Legends House, which was hilarious. So
Legends House was funny.
Yes. Fink was just he was WWE. He was WWF. He was wrestling. So it's going to be very weird to know that he's gone because his voice is just legendary.
Yeah.
It's tough. Normally I do an impression of him, but it's hard for me to do right now. Give me another week and I'll probably do something like that.
Yeah. It's. I've been trying to do a video for my channel to talk about it, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. Well, primarily because when I was gonna do it, then the news we're also gonna talk about broke, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, another death in the wrestling family. This one, a lot of influence here in San Antonio and also around Texas. Tito Sanchez, legendary wrestler around here. He's the founder and owner of TNT Pro Wrestling. trained a lot of guys and, really helped a lot of guys that were up and coming that we know of now locally as well. I remember also he, of all people, he trained Jacob Ladder, if you can believe that, right? So,
I think I remember that vaguely, but it still blows my mind whenever I hear it. It's like, wow.
Yeah. The tributes have come. I mean, you couldn't scroll it through a timeline on Facebook and not see a mention of him or a story of him shared by so many in the wrestling business around Texas. From guys like Brent McKenzie, who said this guy just gave me a chance, got me into San Antonio, my first booking, and he always looked out for me. That was nice to hear. Our good friend Laz, formerly Chingo Smurf, when he was wrestling, Tito was one of his mentors, and he had a lot of nice things to say about him. So, and there was just so many things. Cesar Reyes, Chino Reyes, everyone had a lot of nice words. Steve DeMarco, the list goes on and on. He had his handprint on so much in the wrestling. Obviously, he was dealing with, I think it was cancer he would deal with for so long.
Yeah.
And he was always nice to me, too, whenever I got to see him. And,
Yeah, same here. Because, cause one thing I posted on Facebook is, if you went to a wrestling show in San Antonio up until this year, there was a 90% chance you were going to see Tito Sanchez somewhere.
Yes.
Whether it was his show or not. He could literally just be at the crowd visiting and watching the show. You had a 90% chance of seeing that man somewhere in San Antonio watching a wrestling show if you were in one.
Whether it was like a student he trained or something, he loved wrestling. He was wrestling for San Antonio, and it's crazy to think that he's gone. Even when after T and I had kids, it was hard for us to get out to shows. But I think I went to a show for the first time in a few years, and he was there, and he was instantly just like, "How you been?" Asking how things were going. He remembers you. He remembers the fans that come to shows and everything like that. So such a nice guy.
He was a good guy,
and he's definitely gonna be missed. So to Fink and to Tito, rest in peace to both of you. We love you, the WrestleCast, and it's gonna be a whole different world without y'all in it. So
sure.
Wrestling definitely won't be the same. So
yeah.
From that, we'll move into our 1 minute warning. If you have anything to say, Tommy.
A little bit, but before we do, so when we were talking about the releases, I don't know if did you get to, I think I sent you a video of AJ Styles when he's talking about Gallows and Anderson.
I saw it. I can't remember what he said, but this was on his Mixer channel, right? And he was streaming video games and stuff like that.
It kind of broke my heart because he just said he felt like he let them down, like he was he should have looked out for them more. But to me, in a lot of ways, I don't think he should have felt as bad. Because what could he really do? This wasn't like where it was an Impact where he had all the pull in the world, and had this been 2004, 2005, whatever AJ said would have gone.
Right.
He can only do so much. I feel kind of bad that AJ feels that way, but because I don't think he's to blame. I don't think they blame him either. I just think it's just one of those things where you just kind of get dealt a bad hand because Vince doesn't have how to book a tag team correctly. But
No, yeah, and that's not AJ's fault. I mean, it's out of his hands what these decisions are made. He's putting on together great matches. He can't. I mean, obviously these guys are his buddies, his pals. Partially a big reason why they also came to WWE might have been because AJ was coming there too. So, but yeah, you can't really blame yourself for that. These are just corporate decisions, and it sucks when you miss wrestling with the corporate world. They're just going to see dollars and signs, whether you're in the red or the black, and dollars and cents. I don't know why I said dollar signs. Dollars and cents, basically. So. This is what they're looking out for. And if your name isn't, if you're just taking up spot, you're not the one pulling in money, they're just going to let you go. So, unfortunately, it comes down to one person to make those decisions or to book those decisions as well. So, shouldn't be on AJ. I know he feels bad because they're his buddies, but I think they're going to be okay. And he'll be fine too without him. So, no more OC though, obviously. He'll be back to being AJ.
I guess that kind of doesn't work out. So.
Unless they team up AJ and Balor, we'll see. So now 1 minute warning time. Tommy, what did you want to talk about this week?
I do have something, so just let me know whenever you're ready.
Whenever you're ready to go. Hit it.
Okay. All right, so with the lack of some wrestling, I have been sharing a lot of stuff coming out of Pro Wrestling Noah. They've been running empty arena shows. In fact, they just wrapped up their, I think, they call it Global Tag League with, surprise, surprise, Rene Dupree and El Hijo de Wagner of Seguragun winning the whole shebang and even winning the tag team titles, I think, today or yesterday. So there is some wrestling happening aside from just AEW and everything. And I'm sharing it about Noah so much because Noah is really trying their best to get back to being a really good promotion for Japan. Being back to they were number one for a while, but now they've kind of number two, number three. I think they're really working hard to be number two once again. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, with just keep watching them. I'll keep sharing the news as it comes out. And last thing is props to New Japan and Ring of Honor because news broke that they have still been paying their talent for the past couple of months, despite the fact that they haven't run any shows. And what I've been saying is if anyone had any right to start cutting talent and for whatever reason couldn't pay them, this is the one time I would give Ring of Honor a break and say, you know what, I get it. You just can't pay them right now. Right. You guys are a smaller company. You can't pay them. You did have, and everything. That makes sense. But props to both companies. They have still been keeping these guys paid and doing their best to take care of everyone they can. Maybe they can't do it much longer, but they've been doing it so far, and that's amazing. Props to them for that much.
Props to for that. Hopefully, though, they don't take a major hit from it and are still able to come back and keep going when all this blows over. So,
well, I don't know if you know, they Ring of Honor still has on their calendar the show here in San Antonio in June.
Hopefully that goes through. I know AEW still has Double or Nothing set for Vegas on Memorial Day weekend, and hopefully that happens as well. So, I think Vegas is set to reopen pretty soon. A lot of hotels taking bookings again and everything. So, hopefully that happens.
You never know. Things are still iffy, but
mm-hmm.
things could turn around.
Yep.
And I'll say this: if Ring of Honor can make it down here, maybe we have to follow certain protocols and everything, but we should definitely support, no matter how, what, or in any way. If they make it down here, and not that this all will just magically blow over tomorrow. I mean, it could. I hope, but if they're going to manage to get down here to put on a show for the fans should come out. If we have to do it, social distancing in a way, we can, after a certain number, we have to break the number. But let's try to, if there can only be a few number of people in the building, let's try to get to that number as close as we can. And then, hey, everyone who can't make it, hey, it just happens.
All right. That's a wait and see thing there.
Yep.
For me, this week, I want to recommend that everybody go on to Netflix and check out this movie called The Main Event. It is a WWE Studios film, but it's great for kids. Still, if you are a wrestling fan, I think it's a cheesy storyline, a cheesy plot, but it's fun. My kids enjoyed it. It's got a great cast of characters in there as well, and some good cameo appearances by The Miz, Otis, Mia Yim, and Keith Lee. Keith Lee is actually one of the more supporting characters, known as the Smooth Operator. The storyline is basically about a kid who finds an old wrestling mask that gives him magical superpowers, and he enters a tournament to become the next WWE superstar. It's a good film.
I did not know that movie sounded that awesome. I'm in.
Yeah, it's a good film. It's got some funny moments, and it's a great cameo appearance by Corey Graves and Renee Young that you don't expect coming, and some commentary you don't expect to hear from Renee Young, but it is so funny. Check it out. It's a really good movie, good Netflix movie. Watch it with your kids. Our kids definitely enjoyed it. Definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. So it's called The Main Event on Netflix. So I think Tommy's writing it down. Yeah. Our Twitter account at @CCG_WrestleCast, and you can subscribe to the Countdown Sinkies YouTube channel. Have the link as well here on the description for Tommy's YouTube channel. He's been posting a lot of stuff, reaction videos. I'm sure he'll be posting a lot about some of the releases and the passing of Tito as well, like he mentioned.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover that hopefully this week, and that should be up. Maybe by Wednesday or so.
Yep. My Twitch account, twitch.tv/KnuckleFan64. I had a good time playing the Guilty Gear beta, the Guilty Gear Strive beta this past weekend. It's a beautiful game. It really is.
Yeah, it is. Oh my God. Guilty Gear is back. I'm so freaking happy.
It looks great. It plays great. It's not super combo heavy. It's got for big fighting game fans, it relies heavily a lot more on the neutral game as well. So it keeps things very simple. And there was no instant kills. I don't know if that was just something for the beta itself or if that's being done away with completely. So that's a very interesting thing.
Mm-hmm. So I couldn't remember what is Viking in this version in this game too?
Not in the demo, but she hasn't been officially announced yet. Yeah, there's the thing about video games like these is that of the characters that announced, like pretty much everyone in the beta was announced, and then Mila was also announced, but she wasn't in the beta. So Biken will probably be in it. I'm pretty sure we'll see Johnny, we'll see Venom. Some of the staples of the Guilty Gear series will be there, and if they're not there, they'll be DLC.
I think Biken's just my favorite character and character design because honestly, I was always a Chip Zenith kind of guy. I suck at Guilty Gear. I want everyone to understand. I am not good at it, but I love the game. But I do absolutely suck at Guilty Gear.
It was fun.
Love playing it.
It was fun, and a lot of the beta was around testing, I guess, the online lobby setup, which was a bit weird, a bit confusing. I'll just give my feedback on it right now. Getting a match online, it was more of like an 8-bit type setup. You create a little character, you're walking around in these lobbies on these floors, and you're trying to find someone to battle with. But the detection to set up a battle was just kind of weird. It wasn't always in real time. And there were a few times where I was in the middle of a match and it just disconnected randomly. And I had to completely close the game out because I couldn't do anything and load it back up. So still, it was fun to play. The CPU matches I played before, you can go back on my Twitch account and check the streams as well. I played a lot of May, and she's just a blast. So it's a beautiful game.
You did use May a lot.
Yeah, she's my main. So I was just happy she was in the beta, but it's a really cool game, worth checking out. I think it's going to be out later this year. They'll work all the bugs out, I'm sure. This beta will help a lot. And we'll see who else they announce for. It's going to be fun. Meanwhile,
all
on my
Twitch...
Twitch...
do, though, is try to fire up my old PS2, see if I can make it work, and then replay X2. So
I think I still have it, too, yeah.
When I was moving into our house, I found my old case, and I have all my old PS2 games and my slim silver PS2. So I don't know if it still works or not. God knows I got to probably find a memory to see if my old memory cards even work. I doubt they do. I got to buy an old one for my Game Over.
If not, my PS2 still works. I don't know if I still have the game, but you can bring it over, and I have my memory cards. I probably still have the save data on there. We'll play or something like that. We'll figure it out.
If this is over, it's on. I look forward to losing to you multiple times.
We'll see. Meanwhile, I'll definitely be streaming Samurai Shodown a lot on Twitch, so come check that out. Next week, we wanted to talk about Brawl for All this week. Obviously, with all this news going on, we're going to push that back. So we'll be talking about the Dark Side of the Ring episode on WWE's Brawl for All. And I think in 2 weeks, we're getting pretty close to where we're going to be talking about Money in the Bank. If it's not 2 weeks from now, it'll be 3 weeks from now. It's coming up. Our schedules are all kind of crazy right now with everything going on. So, but we'll probably talk more wrestling news next week and quite a bit breaking down Dark Side of the Ring, talking about WWF Brawl for All and all the crazy shit that went down with that. So.
And there was a lot of crazy shit that went down with that.
Yes, I've heard some stories, but I'm wanting to see what else. I haven't fully watched the episode yet, but I want to see it to see what else I learned about it. So go check it out if you haven't already. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing. Joining me on the phone this week was Tommy.
Thanks, guys, and somehow this is still 2020.
Yes. Shout out to Mike. I'm making good use of your chair right now. It's pretty comfy. I can see why you like the chair. So, and I'm your host, JC. And as always, Heels and Babyfaces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
See ya.
So if you want to subscribe to the channel, click right here.
And if you want to watch more WrestleCast videos, I got 3 words for you. Click right here.